Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Oil Chats Live and Unplugged. Today is Friday, April 3rd, and my name is Aisha Harley. I live in Portland, Oregon. If I have not had the pleasure of meeting you, I have been using and educating others about essential oils for 10 years, and they have been life-changing for me. I am so grateful that we have all this time together and that all of you are tuning in live. And before I even go on with the call, I just want to take a moment for everybody to grab the closest oil to you. I have Balance, which is right here. And just take a few drops and place that on your hand, whatever oil you have, and rub your hands together. And I want you to join me in taking 3 long, deep breaths. So all together. Pull the breath right into the belly. And one more. And then take that oil. I like to rub it on the back of my neck or over your heart and on your wrists. It just takes a few moments to feel better, right? Especially if you have a little nervousness or anxiety. The reason why I wanted to start the call with that is because we're living in some strange times for all of us. And a common theme that is coming up in many people that I'm speaking with is these bouts of anxiety, bouts of grief, bouts of uncertainty. And the other night, I woke up at 2 a.m. and I felt like I was on the verge of a panic attack, which I don't actually typically experience. So it was a new experience for me. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was full of fear. I was feeling really uncertain. So I got out of bed. I was really fearful of getting sick. I was afraid I was sick. I don't know if anybody has experienced this kind of similar anxiety come up, but I got out of bed. I went to my oil drawer. I got out some frankincense, some copaiba, some cedar wood. I slathered it on. I took a few long, deep breaths. I then took some Serenity gel caps and some Adaptive. I turned my diffuser on by my bed and I fell back to sleep. I am so grateful every day that 10 years ago, Aaron Fugate introduced me to these essential oils. And I, more so than ever, am so grateful to have these tools. And so I wanted to share that story just as a reminder to you that we all have these tools. We're all going through different emotions and experiences and having different levels of stress. So please remember, if you have that moment during the day or during the night that you're feeling panic, to take your focus back to your breath, to get out your oils, and just to give yourself a moment to bring yourself back to center. Because just in a few moments, we can re-ground and realign ourselves. So I just wanted to let you know, one, that you're not alone, that this is being experienced by so many people right now, and to use these tools that we have. So just wanted to share all of that with you. We have an amazing call today. I'm really excited about the lineup of speakers we have. We have Melanie, who's going to come on in a few minutes, and we're actually going to do our official grounding exercise to start the call off. Suzanne is going to share more about the oil of rosemary. Diane is going to show us some special acupressure points on our body that we can use to help with breast support. And then Asha is on the call today, and she is recovering from COVID-19, and she is going to share her personal experience and the essential oils that she's used to help her recover through this process. Just a few technical things. If you are new to this call, if you're on the call for the first time today, would you please put that in the chat? We'd love to see who's on the call for the first time. And then also at the top of your screen, if you're on your computer, you'll see a little grid and you'll see speaker view. We recommend putting speaker view, and that way you'll see each speaker as they come up on the screen. Am I on the big screen right now?
You are.
Okay, I'm actually seeing somebody else there, so I wasn't sure. Okay, great. And then also, we will be sharing a lot of information, and so you're welcome to take notes, but please know that all the information will be shared from this call on our 2 websites, which are hellovisionary.life, so you can find the call notes there. You can also find the call notes on essentialwellness.life. So don't panic if you don't get all the notes. We've been having the notes posted within 24 hours. You've got to give us a little bit of time to get everything up there, but we're getting it up as fast as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and bring Melanie on to the call. Melanie McCloskey is joining us from Hood River. She is a life coach. She is also an essential oil educator, and she is an absolutely remarkable woman, which you will experience here in just a few moments. So Melanie, why don't you go ahead and start and get us all grounded?
Thank you so much. It's so beautiful to see everybody in this format. It's so nice to be with you. So I wanted to share a meditation that I do to help ground with my clients on and retreat and things. It's helpful to let go of what's not serving us right now and bring in what can be. And if you have them, I would love for you to grab Helichrysum. If you have either the Touch or the Pure Oil, we have a nice little hack in CorrectX, so hopefully everybody's been using the CorrectX. If you don't have that handy, you can also grab Breathe, which is a nice substitute for my intention. And then at the end, we're going to use ginger. So if you happen to have ginger, that's a great one to grab right now as well. Okay, so if you can, take a seat and get nice and relaxed. I'm so glad that Aisha helped us to take a few breaths and get centered. But I'm going to do a very abbreviated version. So just go through and take a nice deep breath and fully exhale. Release what's not serving you in this moment. And as you exhale and take another deep breath, then let yourself sink a little bit deeper into your seat, to the floor. I'm going to go ahead and grab your Helichrysum and put that over your heart. And my intention with that today is this is an oil that's super supportive for grief and pain. And we're all experiencing a number of different types or stages of those as we're tapped into the collective. So just as a side note, you can use this every day for a couple of weeks, and it's very helpful for your heart. So now, and you can breathe in what might be left on your hands and feel into that space that the Helichrysum creates. And if you don't have that one, you can go ahead and put Breathe on as well over your lungs and feel into that opening. And again, relax. Relax your head, relax your shoulders with each breath. Relax your lungs. Feel into the massage when you breathe that your lungs give your back body and your side body and your front body. Relax your organs, relax your pelvis, relax your thigh bones, relax your knees, relax your feet. And now imagine you have an anchor that's coming out from your spine that draws down and just falls gently, gently, gently through the earth, down into the soil, the rock, the bedrock, and it just falls effortlessly all the way down, all the way until it finds the core of the earth. And I want you to find that spot in the core of the earth and that molten lava core that's just yours, that spot that you can anchor into. And draw that cord nice and tight and feel how it grounds you. Feel how you just are anchored into your own special spot on Earth through that molten lava core. And now with your next breath, I want you to release anything that's not serving you in this moment. Release any frustrations, any tiredness, any worry, any concern. And just let yourself feel it fall away. There you go. Keep releasing with each breath. Anything that's not serving you mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually can fall away. And now from that molten lava core, I want you to feel this beautiful energy that rises when we release. That rises back up like a phoenix, coming back up through to support us. Through that nourishing earth, it rises and rises into our bodies and comes back up. And now as it's rising through your body, let that feeling of nourishment come through. I also want you to open your crown. Open that area that supports you to connect between you and the universe, your spiritual support above, whatever that looks like to you. Open and let that rise up, rise all the way up, 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 into the stars. And now it can create a circuit falling back down, feeling that support from both above and below, that orientation of your beautiful place on earth, the presence that you have. And with each breath, you can release what's not serving you. And as you draw a breath in, imagine bringing in any nourishment or empowerment that you need in this moment to be supported. And as you draw that support in, you can feel it centering in your core and building beautiful light that's just you, that perfect, beautiful light that's your unique power and grace in this world. And as that builds, I want you to let it spread and let it keep moving out and out until you feel it touch everyone on this call. And just let everyone's light just give a little touch, a little love to each other. Feel into that moment of everyone filling each other with our love and light. Now, as you bring your energy back to you, I want you to concentrate it into that powerful place that you uniquely have inside. And give yourself a word to embody this moment that supports and nourishes you. And take a breath into that word. And acknowledge yourself for your presence and power in this moment. And if you like, you can grab your ginger, take a little bit of an inhale of it, and then take a dab and put it on your solar plexus. And now that smell, you can anchor this in as it warms you and remind you of your power in the core of your being that you have even in this time. And I want you to reach out. Just let the feeling come back into your hands and your feet as you return to our call. And if you would like to share your word, you can type it in the chat to share and connect with everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. That was so lovely. I didn't want to come back. We could have just done that for the next hour. What a gift. And again, a reminder that, just a few minutes can completely change your state of being. And so to use these tools And the reminder to use these tools preventatively, doing a little breath exercise every day, using your essential oils all day long, turning your diffusers on to keep you from getting to that heightened state is a really powerful practice. So thank you for that reminder and that gift. Next, we're going to bring on the incredible Suzanne Nicholas, who is coming to us from St. Helena, California. She is also one of our visionary leaders and essential wellness, essential oil educators, and we love her so much. Suzanne, are you ready to share with us more about rosemary?
I am. Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you
Great.
sound great.
Wonderful. I am very excited to talk about rosemary and some of its characteristics. So you may be familiar with rosemary as a cooking flavor. You know, it's something that for me, I grew up tasting it in pastas and in baked goods, and certainly our rosemary, our doTERRA rosemary, can be used that way. On the back, you can see it has supplement facts, which means it is generally regarded as safe for internal consumption, aromatic use, so to smell it, as well as topically. And so I'll walk through a little bit of that. But certainly adding it for a cooking accent is something to do. It's a very beautiful, almost spicy flavor. So a little bit would be all you would need if you were going to cook with it. As far as its properties and going into the, you know, the plant essence, it's wonderfully stimulating, but it's also very calming. So rosemary is a great oil to reach for if you're wanting to stimulate some focus. So if you have a big project, if you are homeschooling your children right now, like I am, diffusing rosemary is a wonderful option to stimulate that focus. If you understand what I mean by that, is it excites the body, but it also calms the body down. So rosemary pairs beautifully with floral oils. I'm thinking about like our new Mother's Day collection that's just been introduced, and rubbing some of the jasmine with rosemary, I think is going to be a fantastic option. Putting it in your diffuser with citrus is also lovely, but even something like lavender. So citrus or floral will pair really nicely with the rosemary, again, to ignite some focus and energy, but also just to create the stillness that comes with focus. And on the side of stillness, it's wonderful for massage. It's very purifying for the body. Diluting it with fractionated coconut oil, kind of a 2-to-1 ratio, is very supportive for the muscles. It's a natural, almost like antiseptic. It's so it's very cleansing. You'll find that it's part of our On Guard collection. So On Guard, which is a very popular blend these days, which is called the Protective Blend, it would make sense that rosemary is a part of that because it's such a beautiful cleanser, that antiseptic quality. It's very protective for the body. My family is Greek, and so there's a lot of Greek homes that have rosemary growing in front of them symbolically and energetically for protection. So, so having rosemary in the On Guard blend absolutely makes sense. It's also wonderful for hair. You'll find it in, whoops, did we lose me? No, okay. I'm good, good, okay. You'll find it in the doTERRA conditioner and the root to tip serum, hair serum, because it's such a valuable element for hair, for growth, overall growth and strength. If you don't have those products, you could certainly take a drop of rosemary and add it to your hair care regimen to, again, just instill beautiful, strong, long hair. And on the energetic side and the emotional side, I'm going to turn to my favorite emotions book and just read you a little bit about rosemary. Rosemary is known as the oil of knowledge and transition. Rosemary assists in the development of true knowledge and true intellect. It teaches that one can be instructed from a far greater space of understanding than the human mind. It challenges individuals to look deeper than they normally would and ask more soul-searching questions so that they may receive more inspired answers. I think this is a beautiful oil for right now in our world. A lot of us are finding that we might have some more quiet time on our hands than what we're accustomed to. And it's a beautiful time, not only with our lunar cycle, but just with the ways of our world, to take time to do some of that soul searching. So taking rosemary, applying it topically on your body, diffusing it into the air, and contemplating, what is calling to your heart and calling to your mind. Rosemary can be a beautiful addition there for just supporting that soul searching work. So that's a little bit about rosemary. I hope you learned something. If you don't have it in your collection, I encourage you to get it. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Do you have the book handy, the emotional book? Do you hold it up for everybody to see?
Absolutely. So this is an older version. This is actually a couple years old, but it's called Emotions and Essential Oils.
This is a must-have. Everybody, if you don't have this book, please check it out. We also type it in the chat so everyone knows.
I sure will.
Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Fantastic. I love rosemary. I love to put rosemary. I like to rub it into my scalp at night before I go to bed. It can also help stimulate hair growth, like you said, as well as it's really great for the brain. It's a yummy one. So thank you so much. Next, we have Diane Del Reyes, who is going to share with us some acupressure points. She is a licensed acupuncturist. She practices Chinese medicine. She's an essential oil educator. She's also a life coach, and she lives here in Portland, Oregon with many of us. So Diane, I'm going to hand it on over to you.
Hi, thank you. And thank you, Suzanne. So perfect that you talked about rosemary, because I'm definitely going to talk about rosemary from a little bit of a different perspective, Chinese medicine perspective. And I thought about, like, when you were talking about the emotions, it's actually, I think about the oil of remembrance too. So it really stimulates the memory. And I don't have it in my presentation, but basically if you go up your spine to hit that occipital ridge, you could use it there to stimulate your memory. GV16 is that point. I can share that another time. All right, so I'm going to share my screen because I put a few slides together for you. This is one of the other things I do is that I'm the creator of a course called AccuOil Alchemy. So I actually pulled some information directly from the course. So I wanted to share some of the things for you that pertain to what we're all going through right now. So I wanted to share this first slide with you to kind of just give you a new understanding about how to look at the oils. Like, we talk a lot about top, middle, and base notes. Occasionally you'll hear either myself or Dr. Rose or Ariana talking about a pungent oil or a lemony or sweet and categorizing it this way. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to share with you, I have like a free little mini course that's going to teach you how to specifically learn how to categorize oils in a different way. So you're welcome to, that's free. So you'll see these words, and that pungent and lemony are more related to top notes, sweet and green. And this is really about the understanding them from an energetic movement, or a chi movement is what we like to call it. So you'll get a little different understanding about what the oils are doing energetically. They're raising and expanding. The green and sweet are, the middle tones are circulating. And then some of the woody and the rooty oils are sinking or descending chi, some stronger than others. So I just wanted to kind of give you that overview. And we're going to talk about rosemary. So a lot of this, don't worry about when you start like, what is qi deficiency and heart and kidney yang deficiency? Don't worry about that right now. What I want you to look at is understanding that there's another word called tropism that means like what the oils have an affinity, meaning like what organ systems in this case do the oils actually affect, whether it's the meridians in Chinese medicine or the actual lungs, which of course the meridians go through the, lungs, the organs go through the specific organs. So in general, when you're thinking about rosemary, think about it right now as your overall qi tonification, qi energy tonifying, strengthening the immune system. This is a tonic for our bodies. It's really good for physical and mental malaise, meaning like disease or sickness. So this is really going to strengthen your overall immune system. The oil, this particular oil, so what I teach in my course is really kind of the magic of the oils, using them on acupuncture points or acupressure points. And I will show you, I'm going to show you a picture of what stomach 36 looks like. This is a really good tonification point. Actually, I have, and I want to share with you one thing. When you're using oils on acupuncture points, all right, let me back up a little bit. The essential oils that we use are pure, and they're unadulterated, which means that they're at their highest vibration. That energetically, they are high vibe oils. And then acupuncture points are where qi energy accumulates, and they're along meridians. You don't have to, I can't get into it too much, but basically know that this is where the qi accumulates. And then when you're putting these two things together, the oils and acupuncture points, that's why I say that's where the magic happens. So stomach 36 is a very good overall tonification, strengthening, immune strengthening for our body. And the way you find it is, let me see, this is over. Is 4 fingers breath, and when I unshare, I can kind of give you a better idea. But basically, it's 4 fingers breath below the bottom part of your kneecap, and that's the patella, and it's basically 1 finger's breath lateral from the anterior crest of the tibia. Meaning, like if you go along the shin, you'll find kind of a ridge, and it's basically 1 finger's breath lateral to the outside. And so when you're using oils for tonification there, it's a really good point for stomach stuff as well, which right now we definitely want to be supporting our immune and our gut. So for immune system, go ahead and use that rosemary, black spruce, melaleuca, tea tree on there. And then when you're dealing with more like digestive issues, you can use ginger, fennel, and peppermint are good options. All right, so let's talk about melaleuca. So melaleuca is also, we categorize that as a pungent, also more top note oil. And in Chinese medicine, like when we're learning about herbs, we're also thinking about their temperature. I'm not going to spend too much time there. I talk a lot about it in the course, but we also look at the temperature of the oil. Is it more cooling? Is it neutral? Is it warming? Is it hot? And then, so melaleuca, tea tree, really the organs that it affects are the lung and the heart. So obviously, this is really important for us right now. So it's going to tonify or strengthen the lung, augmenting the qi, meaning just strengthening it. And it strengthens the wei qi. And so the wei qi is, think of it kind of as our on guard qi. It's our defensive qi. It's our immune system. So it's supporting our immune system, especially like the lungs. And side note, like from a 5-element perspective, when you think about the lungs, you're thinking about the metal element. And since this has a direct relationship with the lung, it's also great for low self-worth, low self-confidence, as well as creating really good boundaries. So the point I would use tea tree on is lung 9. And I'm going to show you where that is in a minute. But that point is specific for tonifying lung qi, and that's on your wrist. And another side note, which I don't think I said it, when you're using oils on points, because they're both high energy, this is actually not acupressure, it's just bringing the oil to the point. And I might have to, when I unshare my screen, show you again. And really, it's really just about bringing the energy of the point, the energy of the oil to the energy of the point, and just holding it there for 30 seconds to up to 3 minutes until you feel a shift. They call that de qi in Chinese medicine. You actually will feel, maybe it's a warmth, maybe it's almost like you feel like a balloon underneath that point. So like expanding balloon. So you'll feel something. It takes time, but you will. Okay, then I want to talk about eucalyptus. So now the first 2 oils, we really talked about tonifying and strengthening our immune system. Now, this oil, which is the key ingredient in our Breathe oil, is great for like more moving qi, right? So you see it's green and cooling, so it's more circulating. It also works, obviously, in the lungs. It releases the exterior, meaning like when you start getting sick, it's going to release those pathogenic factors. This oil really is great for moving lung qi. It has a very dispersing nature, so it helps clear any dampness, any phlegm, that kind of thing, and congestion. It helps clear lung phlegm. It enhances your breathing. Another interesting and timely consideration with this oil is if one is feeling kind of hemmed in or constricted by our environment, hello, like we are all on house alert here, eucalyptus helps to disperse these negative feelings that give us this kind of inward, giving us an ability to inwardly breathe, right? It's giving us room to breathe. So it's kind of helping us disperse that constricted feeling, just like the constriction in our lungs. It's helping open up those lungs. So we're going to use that on lung 7, which I'm going to show you that in a minute. But it's also, because of its cooling nature, you can use it on another point called lung 11. LI11, that's a lie. LI11, sorry, it's supposed to be LI11, large intestine 11. And that's really for reducing that fever. It's really good for clearing heat in our body. So let's see. So I have a picture here of where lung 9 are and lung 7, and just a little bit more about, the indications for lung 7. You can also use eucalyptus, rosemary, Siberian fir. Well, rosemary is on lung 9, but Siberian fir, cypress are great for lung 7. And I love cypress specifically because it's really good for moving that lung qi and also for grief, which I know a lot of us are experiencing. All right, so there's a picture of where LI11 is. It's kind of in that crease of your arm. And I know Dana was doing this great thing the other day about this kind of energetically moving things down that lung channel. And that's kind of where lung 1 is. I'll show you how to find that in a minute. And then also you can use eucalyptus and breathe on what's called LI20, which is basically on the ends of your nostrils there. Let's see. That's it. I just wanted to give you kind of a down and dirty how to tonify your lung qi, and then also how to move some of that lung qi and support your immune system, and then help support opening up the lungs if stuff starts happening on you. So I have a free ebook, which actually comes with a little free 3-part mini series and course about how to categorize the oils, not only from those categories that I talked about, but also you can take a screenshot of this. I can maybe, I can probably grab this and put it in the thing too. Hold on a second.
Diane, I have it for you. I'll put it in again. I put it in. I'll do it again.
Thank you. Here, I'll unshare. So basically, okay, so just real quick to find some of those points. So can you guys see me? Am I in the big screen? Okay, cool, because I see you, Erin, which you're lovely, but I just want to make sure. So if you go underneath your thumb, this fatty bit is called the thenar eminence, but right on the wrist crease, if you go follow it straight down on the wrist crease, and if you kind of fold your hand in, you'll have a little divot right there. All right, so that's lung 9. So that's kind of more like the tonification point. And then lung 7 is if you go on the side, you'll feel this, what's called the radial tuberosity. It's just a little bump. And right as you're moving up towards your hand, you'll feel that bump. And as you're kind of bumping into it, that's lung 7. And then Li11 for fever is if you kind of do this with your arm and you find the bump here, the elbow bump, and then the end of the wrist crease, and right in between in this little bit is Li11.
Diane?
Yeah.
Will you remind us, Lotus is asking just to remind us which oil we would put on
Oh,
each
yeah,
of
yeah,
the 3
for sure.
points?
So you want to use the like rosemary on lung 9, and you can also use melaleuca on lung 9. And then lung 7, you'll use breathe or eucalyptus. And then same thing, breathe and eucalyptus for fever. So this is like if you start getting like a cough, lung 7, that kind of thing, your lungs start getting congested, you want to use the breathe or eucalyptus. Same thing with if you start getting feverish, use those on Li 11. Yep, right, kind of right in that bit. And then I have to kind of stand up a little bit for stomach 36. So stomach 36, can you see my knee?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're bending your knee and you put your hand at the bottom of your kneecap on the outside of your leg, and you'll basically, yeah, you kind of pretty much fall right into it. That's how far down you go. And then if you go up this ridge, you'll kind of fall right into that spot. You'll almost feel a little divot, but it's basically you also feel that ridge, but it's like one finger's breadth. So
and remind us what that point is for and what oil.
That's kind of overall tonification of the body, strengthening the immune system. So you can use rosemary, you can use On Guard. That's a really good point for that.
And then just really quick, remind us what tonification means.
It means strengthening. It's basically you're strengthening your immune system.
Love it.
When you start getting sick, you want to move into the moving stuff. Like you don't want to, there's this concept in Chinese medicine that you don't want to strengthen the bad stuff. So you want to move that stuff out. So if you do start getting sick, you move into the other oils.
Thank you. That was awesome. I love that. We will post Diane's resources on the website. And it's also a great reminder. I know we keep stressing this, but if you feel yourself getting worn down, if you know you've been exposed to something, get really proactive. I can't stress to you the importance of the regular use with the oils, which we've been talking about, using these points and really hitting whatever you have going on. Hit it hard in the beginning. And by doing that, you can shorten the life cycle. You can keep yourself from going into secondary infections, or you might be able to kick it out before it even takes hold. It is so important. And then also with our daily support, that hopefully will keep us from getting it. That actually reminds me, I'm just acting as if it's coming. And so I am doing all the things, even though I'm just staying at home. So now is the time to just really boost up your immune system and do that extra support. Diane, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I just want to, I'll say one more thing to what you just said. I also often think of what Josie says, her SFDD, small frequent daily doses, like that's really important. And if you do get sick and you are like amping up and doing it more, doing your oils more frequently, make sure you're doing them at least 24 hours past when you think your symptoms are gone.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm so grateful for you and all of our healthcare practitioners that so freely share. I have learned so much from our community, and I'm just always grateful and always learning. So thank you. So our next person that we're going to bring on our call is someone that is very special. She lives in Williamsburg, Virginia. She is a graphic designer, a yoga and meditation teacher, and an essential oil educator. And as far as I know, she is one of the first people in our community to get COVID-19, and she is going to share with us her experience and what she has been doing to move through this and help her body heal. So please help me. Let's give Asha McLaughlin a little welcome, a warm welcome, Asha. We know that you're still feeling a little tired and fatigued, so we super appreciate you coming on and sharing with us.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be with you. And it's true, this is when I start to turn into a pumpkin, but I'm super excited to be with you guys. And I just realized that I guess I did. Okay. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is that we are all biodynamic, right? So what happened to me and what I'm experiencing is really my experience. And I want to just first and foremost say that if, how people are going to move through this virus, should you get it, may look different, right? So this is just how it's been for me. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about how I was exposed, what I experienced, what my symptoms were, and then also what I have been doing to work with my symptomology. So I was exposed, the first time that I know officially was on March 2nd. I was leading a meditation at my church, and which I do every month. And 2 of those people ended up in the hospital. And I didn't get an official email letting me know of my exposure until a week and a half after that. And then the following week, I was exposed by 2 yoga students in my class, and it was a small class. So it was much more intimate, not like a big class where I'm sitting back from people. So anyway, immediately went into fever. I had a fever for 3.5 weeks. It was low grade and I didn't take anything for it. I just let my body have it because I knew it was doing good. And I also was a little bit in denial. I did not think that I actually had it. And it wasn't until my symptoms started increasing. But right off the bat, I want to tell you guys that I live in a home with 2 teenage boys and a husband, and nobody else is sick. And this is really significant, okay? This is a big deal. And of course, I'm diffusing in every room. I'm wiping everything down with On Guard cleaner. Every time I touch the fridge, I'm washing my hands like a nutcase, right? And I truly believe that using these products and these oils, my viral load, I believe, is lower. I believe I'm less contagious. I totally 100% believe that, because the way that they talk about the exposure being so great, that hasn't been our experience. And I know for a fact that I have this. So that's good news. I just wanted to make you feel good about that. So my symptoms were low-grade fever, 3.5 weeks, headache, sore throat, heaviness in my chest. It basically feels like an elephant is sitting on my chest. Now, as Aisha said, I am a Hatha yogi of 30 years. I teach pranayama. I have really good respiratory and lung capacity. So I might not be feeling what people who don't kind of have that ability to breathe might be a little more intense for them, but I definitely notice it. And it's there, but I'm not congested, I'm not sneezing, and I'm not expectorating. Again, I think that's because of all the products, all the amazing tools we have. And I'm dairy free. But aches and pains, heaviness and shortness of breath, this is the big one, guys. Extreme fatigue. Like, anybody that knows me knows I'm the Energizer Bunny. I've been face down for the whole month of March. It was crazy how tired. I could do one thing. I don't know if you guys ever had mono when you were a teenager or something. It was like that. It is like that. I can do one thing and then I have to go lay down and I'll be done for the rest of the day. And then later on, like, I feel like when I was really in the trenches, like 3 weeks in, I actually started to have pain in my spleen. And I looked it up, and then I called a local friend of mine who's a healer. And so the spleen, you guys, is on your left side. It's kind of tucked in behind, underneath your stomach. And you can look it up, you can Google it, but it was a very specific place to have pain. And basically the spleen is the largest organ in the lymphatic system. So it's where red blood cells go to die, and it's where white blood cells, the ones that are fighting the infection, are being made. And so basically my spleen was working hard, right? And so I started to have some pain there and some sensitivity. And then there was also pain. Like, I mean, I felt like a couple mornings, I felt like someone had literally kicked me in my back ribs. I just woke up and it was so painful. This is when I started to realize I had it, by the way. And also, I just wanted to let you know that I did go to my local hospital and I tried to get tested. And I went through the first 2 gates. The 3rd gate, the woman would not test me. And she said I was too young. And I mean, isn't that exciting that at 53, I'm young again? But it's because we just don't have enough tests in this country. So I didn't get an official diagnosis, but I never get sick, and I've never had symptomology like this before. So, and I had 2 direct exposures. So anyway, it's my belief that I have it. So, okay, let's get to the protocols. Number 1, for Melissa, right? Our highest antiviral plant. Every morning, the first thing I do still is I take 1 drop under my tongue. And then at night, I do that half drop. I saw Erin teaching this, swiping what's around the edge, or maybe doing a half drop and then putting that in my mouth. So I got a good hit of Melissa every day, twice a day. Symphony of the Cells, big time. I have it all set up. My husband was doing it every single night on my spine, the respiratory, but we were also alternating the respiratory Symphony of the Cells and the ID, the infectious disease ones. So once or twice a day for that. This is like my serious go-to, you guys. I love this. I call it my sore throat spray. It's the gargle recipe, On Guard, lemon, and melaleuca. This is just everything. You can use this as hand sanitizer. You can use it as a sore throat spray. You can, you know what I mean? Anything. But I gargle, obviously. But when I can't, like this, I spray in the back of my throat every hour. Just like that. So I did 15 drops of each. It's a 30 ml bottle, and then purified water. Topicals. So of course, on my chest and throat. Breathe, rosemary, manuka. And then on my feet, on the lung, Chinese medicine point for lung, which I'll post it. I have a little graphic for it. I was massaging thyme every day on that point on my feet, a couple times a day. And I did that. I did those topically on my chest. I'm still doing it. At least 3 times a day. That's been really, really helpful. Peppermint for headaches. I came up with what I called Spleen Love blend when I started to feel the pain in my spleen. And that was, you know, I do a drop of geranium. I layer these 3: geranium, And then I did a drop of lemon. I wanted it to cleanse and bring in clean, fresh energy and chi. And then I wanted to soothe it. So I did ylang ylang. So geranium, lemon, and ylang ylang. I have a little meme for that as well. We'll post that. The time on the feet. 25 milligrams of vitamin D a day. A lot of liquid vitamin C. I was doing between 2,000 and 3,000 vitamin C. Extra fluids, obviously the lemon citrus water. I was making extra teas. I was just drinking more hot tea every day. Full dose of the LLV, turmeric gel caps, On Guard gel caps, 2 to 3 a day. And then, you know, sometimes for mood, I was definitely using adaptive for sleep, and I love Shen Men and bergamot. Shen Men is a point in the ears. We can post that. One of my teenagers is very sensitive, and he's been a little depressed, and so we've been doing adaptive for him for that. Just as a side, I'm just thinking of what's going on in my house. I want to re-stress the importance of self-care. I think there's so much fear of the unknown and fear of getting this. Now, look, I've had it. I'm dealing with it. It's, you know, I read an article that said within 8 to 10 months, I think 80% of us are going to work through this. It is not a death sentence, right? And especially because we're so blessed to have, and I'm going to tell you them, and it's in this order, our leaders, the educators. Look at all this, look at the wealth that's on these calls. Truly amazing. We are so fortunate. So our leaders, the community, the doctors, the protocols, and the products. We are covered. We've got this. Truly, everybody. I want you to feel really good about it and like, take a deep breath, you know, we're going to make it through this. And we will all have different symptomatics. I understand that. But I truly believe that we will be okay. And so part of my self-care is yoga, is breath work, is meditation, is affirmations, but also I like to be self-soothing. So doing face massage, I'm into the lymphatic drainage. You know, if you take peace fingers and you go on either side of your ear, so one finger in the front and one in back, and you're just kind of going up and down and giving yourself a massage, draining down into these, there's lymphatic points here and also on the chest. I mean, just take some extra time and give yourself some love and some caring, some nurturing, right? I truly believe these are helpful. So that's my spiel, but I'm definitely open if anybody wants to ask any questions.
Asha, thank you. Yes, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat or we can have you come on. One thing I want to make note of is, especially if you're new to doTERRA, Asha shared a lot of products and a lot of things, and it can feel like a lot. And one thing that I've learned, I know a lot of you know my story, but I had Lyme disease, and that was sort of my entrance into doTERRA. And there was a time from my naturopathic doctor that I was taking 40 plus pills a day. And when you're fighting something strong, you have to fight back stronger. And with the doTERRA products, I actually found them to be more effective, and I actually took a lot less of them. So these are protocols that they work, they're super effective, they will help you, but don't be afraid of taking too many pills or too many products. You can, of course, adjust because everybody has different levels of sensitivity, but know these products work, they work synergistically, and it's really important to constantly be giving your body support. So we'd love to have any questions that any of you may have. Erin, can you help either read any questions, or if anybody...
Well, while you guys are fielding questions, I just want to say also that I really believe mindset is important, and not to get freaked out, because there was a point, you know, when my spleen started to hurt that I got a little nervous. You know, that was a weird one. That was a weird symptom. I hadn't heard that, even though it made sense when I understood what the spleen did. But just letting a little bit of fear creep in, I couldn't believe the difference in myself. So when I went back into my place of comfort and knowing I'm going to be fine and leaning into the products, everything shifted. So I really think, you know, we have to stay vigilant about our symptoms and about what we're feeling, but also know that you really are going to pull through this. You're going to be fine if you do get it.
Yes, so true.
I feel one of the main questions coming through is what oils did Asha use for the back pain?
I didn't really address it. I just kind of laid there. I mean, the Symphony of the Cells is just, you know, amazing. And it's funny, my husband, I don't know how many drops you guys do. I usually do 5 up the spine. He was like, it was like 8. I was like covered in oils, but I needed that, I guess. And I love Deep Blue Rub, of course.
Asha, you said you mostly ended up, first you did respiratory and ID, but then you mostly did respiratory.
Mostly respiratory. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was going along and sometimes twice a day. So that would be a lot of those oils along your back.
Yes, and Ariana mentioned, and I agree, quick go-tos for back pain are Deep Blue, either the rub, or I love the Deep Blue in the roll-on, Aroma Touch, Copaiba, Wintergreen, Lemongrass. Those are all really wonderful oils for back pain.
One other thing I wanted to mention about when I would put the respiratory oils on, like rosemary, I just want to point this out. I have this huge sweater on, but you know, I didn't just go across the top. I went all the way into my side lung, right? I got like all the way in here, and I would get my back ribs. So I put the respiratory oils really in, and underneath we have upper lung and lower lung, right? You can get them everywhere.
Asha, we're so glad you're feeling better. What's that, Erin?
Another question for Asha was, did you lose your sense of smell, like some people are reporting?
I didn't lose my sense of smell, but I noticed that my taste buds shifted. That's not completely, but I did notice that. And there are a lot of unknowns. We don't really know what this is, and if that's going to stay or if it's going to, bounce back. But for me, one of the most exciting things is that no one else got sick in my house. Like, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? That's a huge testimony to me for doTERRA. My husband's been away. He's been sleeping in the guest room for a month because we just didn't want that exposure. But I definitely see my kids. I'm around in the house. I'm still exhausted, you guys. Like, it's I feel like a baby. And on top of it, I'm moving April 15th. So I'm packing my house. So it's a crazy time, but one step at a time, and I think this is another thing that's important to remember for all of us. We're doing the best we can. We're all doing the best we can. Just say that to yourself. I'm doing the best I can. It's like, you start to relax a little bit. You know what I mean?
Asha, how's your appetite been?
Not so much there. Not normal. Yeah.
Ash, can you go over, let's recap kind of, someone was asking, what did they do, your husband and your boys? So like, were they taking anything? And then you were saying diffusing yourself, and talk a little bit more, because you were saying how you were just on it with wiping everything down. And you were just like walking around your house always. When you get up, you'd have a spray bottle.
Totally. I have one in the bathroom. I have one in the kitchen. I'm spraying down all the time. Everybody's taking On Guard Plus. Everyone's taking vitamins.
The LLV.
Yeah, not Lucian, but yeah, he's a chewy gummy guy. But they're doing at least that. And like I said, my older teen, who's been very sensitive and sad, we've been really leaning into adaptive for emotional support. But diffusing, On Guard, but I've been mixing it up, bringing citrus bliss in there, frankincense and lime. I'm mixing it up. They're all antiviral, honestly, many of them. So But every single room, each boy has one in his room, the kitchen, the common areas, my bedroom. Yeah.
Asha, I think this is a really great thing to touch on really quick is the adaptive. Will you share how you're using the adaptive with your son and how that's helping for those that don't know about adaptive?
Sure. So adaptive is our blend, actually it's a whole system that doTERRA came out with. There's a 15 mil for diffusing, which is straight oil blend. There's a touch roller, which I love. I buy one every single month. We go through this like crazy. So this is diluted in coconut oil, the same blend. And the blend is so fantastic because, and I'm not going to name everything, but it has oils that uplift us. It has oils that calm us. And then it has brain oils like copaiba and rosemary and things that are very nourishing to the mental state. And then the supplement is fantastic. It has selenium, which is the like a high omega. It has lavender, coriander. Maybe Josie could talk about the ingredients, but basically this is very calming. And this is a brand new bottle, you guys, and I just can't believe how good these smell. Just the pills, don't they smell amazing? They're just incredible. But when he told me the other day, I always use this on my boys. I'll go up and down the spine. I personally really like oils that go across the jugular vein. So if you feel the bones behind your ear and you go down towards your Adam's apple, it's a really great place to apply oil. So I'll always do this, and I've been doing stronger on them as well. The stronger roller, all the kids on guard, basically. But when he told me the other night how sad he was, just how this is kind of really freaking him out. He's a real people person. That's when I said, you know what, we're going to start taking this supplement. And I've noticed a big difference.
Thank you. If you're new to adaptive, as she said, it's a system, and the adaptive cap can be used for anxiety, stress, depression. It's recommended to take one a day. So if you're new to it, you could take that in the morning. I personally like to take it at night if you have a hard time sleeping, or if you wake up with racing thoughts, or like I shared, I woke up with some anxiety. It can be really helpful for that. It has a low dose of GABA in it, so it has a very calming effect on the system. And then what's great is if you take that pill in the morning and then use the roller throughout the day, that can help to sustain the effects of the adaptive. So we're all really loving that line. I'm finding it to be extremely helpful for my own mental state. So I'm glad to see that that is giving your son some relief. Okay, well, I think we're just about out of time. Are there any last pressing questions to answer there, Erin, before we wrap up?
I think just a reiteration of where everybody's going to find all this information. There seems to be a lot of questions about where the protocols are and how can they remember all this.
Well, we have two websites. We have the hellovisionary.life. Erin will put that in the chat, and or essentialwellness.life. Look for the Oil Talks tab. And after every call, we are putting in all the notes from all the speakers. So we're doing this as fast as possible, but please give us 24 hours to get everything up. And as we've shared before, these calls are not being posted. They are being recorded for our own purposes, but they're not being shared. They're not being posted online. So we can talk openly and freely about all these things that we have to share. So I want to thank all of you so much for joining us live. It just soothes my heart to have this opportunity to see your beautiful faces and to have this time to connect and for us all to learn together. If you are new and you don't yet have any essential oils, I think it's clear that now is the time to get some, to learn about them, and to start using them. And so talk to the person that invited you to this call, and they will help get you started. And I also want to say, express some maybe, just some inspiration to all of you. We all have this amazing gift. These essential oils are sacred, they're powerful, they are effective, and I know personally they're giving me a lot of confidence. And I'm so grateful every day that we have these. So we have this gift and we have this knowledge. There are so many people in the world that do not yet know about essential oils. So please share them with your family, with your friends, and welcome them to join us, because everybody really needs this information. And with that, I have an exciting announcement. If you are brand new and you have not attended an essential oil class yet, just the basic get to know how to use your oil class, and or if you have somebody that you want to invite and you're not quite ready to teach them yourself, we are going to have classes starting every week on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock via Zoom. Our first class is going to be April 14th, and we're calling this Essential Oils Made Easy. It'll be about a 45-minute class, and we will go over all of the essential oil basics. So please invite your family, your friends, anyone that you want to share these products with, invite them to join us. The only caveat is if you are inviting people to the call, you must come to the call with them. It would be like taking them to a class with you. And so you can talk with them after the class and help them get started. So we will be back next Wednesday for more oil talks. We have an incredible lineup of content that just keeps coming forward. So we have more to share with you. I hope you all have a beautiful evening, and thank you all so much for being here with us. Asha, did you have one more thing to say?
One more quick little thing I wanted to say about this adaptive capsule. If you don't think of yourself as being anxious or depressed, but you're just feeling overwhelmed, this is also for overwhelm, which is a big deal right now. So I just wanted more people to realize this is really an amazing product to try out.
Absolutely. You can definitely just take one if you're having a really bad day or just having that moment where you're really freaking out and you just need to have something to calm yourself down. So thank you, everyone. Love you and look forward to connecting with you all soon.
Thank you.